All right, what's going on, you guys? I wanted to give you guys like a weekly recap of, this week that has just passed. It's currently Saturday, January 24th, as I'm recording this video. So, the market just closed. But I wanted to give you guys like a recap of the week that has just passed because your boy is about to be a funded trader. So I figured why not let me just break down the trades that is allowing me to about to pass and become a funded trader. So I want to start off with GBP USD. GBP USD was causing me a lot of just wanting me to just pull out my hair because GBP USD actually gave us like a crazy turnaround. As you can see here, right? We took out this low right here, price corrected, then we made a lower low. After price made a lower low, I was anticipating a correction, right? I was anticipating a correction, but as you can see here, um, price actually made equal highs right here. Off rip, once I saw that, I was like, there's no way this thing is gonna head back down. There's no way. All right. Once we made that equal high, I was like, there's nowhere we're gonna come back down. So then um I'm trying to remember what trades I took. I'm also gonna give you guys like a rundown of the funded account that I am using. And I'm just gonna break down everything to you guys. So down here, this was the GBP USD sell that I assumed was going to go in my favor and it didn't. So let me delete this real quick. So basically, right here, we had a fair value gap right here. If I can draw it out. So we had a fair value gap right here. Actually, let me do a bar replay. Yeah, right there. So we had a fair value gap right there, right? So since price had made the low, and keep in mind too, when it comes to my Fibonacci sequence, I often use the Fibonacci to mark out my TP targets. If you haven't seen my Fibonacci video, make sure to check that out. Please check that out. So what I normally do is I measure from a high to a low, which is right there. So A, B, C, price corrected. So my theory is every time price hits the negative 27 extension, we get a correction, right? So as you can see here, price never fully came down to the negative 27. It eventually did. But what I want to show you guys is even though we did technically make a new low right here, it wouldn't, this little pullback right here wouldn't technically be considered a correction. Like it is a correction, but it's not the correction that I was looking for. And as you can see from this candle right here, right, this was a gap. So we opened on Sunday with a gap, and I was so mad because I was in this trade. I was up like maybe 1K, something like that. And then I don't know if it's because of the broker and their I don't know if it's the broker and their spreads, but this thing literally cheated me out of a trade. I can't make this up. Like it was like a few pips off. It missed my TP by a few pips and I just brushed it off, right? So I was like, okay, let's see how price reacts after this, right? So I thought price was gonna come down, do like a little liquidity sweep, leave behind a wick to then correct, right? But we never did that liquidity sweep. We kind of just went up after that, as you guys can see here. As you can see, we actually took out the fair value gap, right? So that was an indication that once we took out the fair value gap, it's like, all right, price is not going down any more lower. So this fair value gap that was here actually became an inverse fair value gap. If I draw my own fair value gap from right here, so this fair value gap then became inverse because we broke above. If I go down to the 1 hour, it'll show more clearer. I believe this is it. Let me actually go back to the 4 hour. So basically, we broke above the fair value gap, broke and closed above it, then price came and retested and then went up to make equal highs. Right? So cool. So after that, and I'm showing you guys receipts, right? So after this sell right here, that's when I started looking for buys on GU. Now I don't remember my specific entry. I must have gotten in somewhere over here, like somewhere in this little cahoots over here. I must have gotten in. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I closed out on this trade. And it's funny because I just made a video about closing out of trades too early out of fear, right? Maybe if I had stayed in this setup, I probably would have caught these buys here. So the key thing is I closed out of my trades, right, with only $46 in profit. But the key thing that I want to show you guys here is that now we have a new impulse, right? So this whole leg up, this whole leg is considered an impulse. And we know after the impulse comes a correction in the market. So the way I trade is a 3-step format. We have impulse, correction, continuation. So the way I trade, I normally wait for corrections to happen at a fair value gap, leaving behind a noticeable wick. And then I go down to the 5-minute chart, wait for a market structure shift and a break of structure in the specific bias that I have, the direction, and I just enter. So in this scenario now, right, GU done already made a new high. Why? Because we took out this lower high and this high right here. So now price has no choice but to either correct into this fair value gap to retest this high, or it's going to come down here or even a little down here, right? I don't see GU coming out all the way up here just to go back all the way up. It's possible, but we can definitely keep an eye on this fair value gap and this one. So to do something like that. So yeah, that was GU. And after I took my $46, I kind of just left GU alone. And then I went back to Euro NZD. All right. So Euro NZD, I actually had my eyes on Euro NZD for a few weeks now. It was just one of those setups that was in the back of my mind and I kind of forgot about it. And when I didn't see what I wanted to see from GU, I kind of just switched over to Euro NZD. So this is the trade, you guys, that I made 2K on to almost passing my funded account, right? So I was able to I was actually in drawdown, and this trade brought me up to about 52,000. Yeah, let me just break it down for you guys. So basically, Euro NZD actually had a reversal, right? So this high took out this low. So we had an impulse, correction, continuation, and then price was supposed to correct, right? I remember this vividly. Price was supposed to give us a clean correction to then go down, but it then started to consolidate. And if we go on the daily chart, we can see that price had a head and shoulders, right? Left head, right shoulder. I don't really trade the head and shoulder pattern anymore, but when I notice it, I notice it. If I don't, I don't. But it's a good confluence, right? So the daily chart had a head and shoulders brewing, right? This was weeks of brewing, and I knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. So that was one confluence. And if we go back to the 4 hour chart, right, price broke out of this consolidation here. And I consider this whole thing a correction, right? This whole thing was a correction. So the reason why I was able to catch this setup specifically is because if we do this, right? So from this high to this low, and let me kind of do this for you guys. So basically A, B, and then price just played around up here, right? But keep in mind, my theory is every time price hits the negative 27, what do? We get a correction in the market. So Euro NZD did exactly that. So it gave us the impulse, the correction, then it came down right here, right? It came down, took out this low, and then what did price do? It gave us another correction, right? Remember, these yellow dots are my swing highs and my swing lows. So I seen that price corrected right here into a fair value gap, and it rejected the fair value gap twice. So I went down to the 5-minute chart, and I saw this market structure shift and break a structure. Let me zoom in for you guys. So this market structure shift and break a structure. So what I did was I actually got in off of impulse. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I saw price was really dropping hard. So I kind of just entered and I placed my stop. Where did I place it? Yeah, I placed my stop at this lower high. And to kind of go back on the previous video that I made on my entries video part 2, I always like to put my stop loss above these highs where the yellow dots are. I like to put my stop loss above there. But if I can't, sometimes I'll compromise and do like something like this, right? Once my stop loss has breathing room, then that's all that really matters to me. So yeah, I was able to get this entry right here. This was a sniper entry, you guys. You guys see that price just kept tanking and tanking. And tanking, right? Price did not look back. So this was an entry, you guys, that kind of made up for the GU losses. And just to go over Euro NZD, so price gave us the correction. Now we got another impulse. So if I use the Fibonacci again, from there, so this is possibly our new lower low. So now price is going to try to correct into a fair value gap to potentially make a new lower low, which is going to be at this negative 27 here. So that's something I'm probably going to be looking forward to next week, or I may not, because I try to stick to like one pair, you know. I might have different pairs up here, but trust me, I'm only trying to stick to one at a time. So whatever is trending, that's what I'm in, right? So that's Euro NZD, and the trade that I'm currently in right now is gold, right? So gold, as you can see, price made a new high, then it corrected, and now we're aiming for my TP, which is at 5,022. So this entry was actually a terrible entry, you guys. This is like a FOMO entry, I'm not gonna lie, but it was still very calculated, and praise God that I'm this deep in profit, right? But I would not recommend an entry like this because I'm literally buying at all-time highs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realistically should have bought down here at the correction, but I was not really paying attention to gold like that. I was more so focusing on GU, as you can see over here in the beginning of the week. Then I just switched to Euro NZD. But now I'm in gold, as you can see. Um, I believe price is gonna go up a little more going into the new week. So just look forward to that on gold. Gold is what always allows me to pass funded accounts. So if you're trying to pass a funded account, all you need is gold. That's basically my weekly breakdown and the trades that I'm currently in. So I just wanted to go and just show you guys like, yeah, I didn't even know this was like integrated in this app. So I'm basically doing a funded account, a 50K challenge with TX3 funding. This is not sponsored. They have not told me to give them a shout out. I'm just telling you guys, what it is that I'm actually trading. And here's all the proof. I know a lot of you guys might think that I'm not a trader for real. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to show you guys like I'm really a trader. Like I'm really a trader. I'm really doing this. So as you guys can see, I'm 90% away from my $4,000 target. So, wish me luck, you guys. There's no luck in this. Honestly, it's all praises to God. So yeah, I just figured I'll show you guys, all the results. You know what I'm saying? Like I have nothing to hide, and I believe once I do finally become funded, I think I'm gonna just bring you guys on that journey with me and just document my trades, right? Until I can get or secure my first payout, which is gonna be super exciting. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the journey, show you guys what I'm currently dealing with and working with. And yeah, stay tuned because you don't want to miss this. It's only up from here, you guys. Praise God. Continue to pray over your trades. Continue to pray over your trading journey, right? So shout out to y'all, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.